Hola.
Well, need me go.
You're good?
I'm good.
Okay, good.
Just got back about 5 minutes ago from dropping the dog off.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like everything's fine because it seems like a hectic day. How was yesterday?
It was really good. It was really good. Had 4 out of the 5 people show up for the call. The fifth person was having trouble with the link for some reason, but I think it was more of an issue on her end than on my end. And I had laid out kind of the whole agenda for the hour, over really 50 minutes. And I think I only got about halfway through because we were having such a good discussion about things.
Okay.
So yeah,
So do you know where these people are from?
yeah, well, they each run a store. So there's a store in Oakville, Milton, Burlington.
So they're all local.
Mississauga. Yeah, it's all kind of local.
All local.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good. It was funny because my daughter just started working at one of the stores, the Mississauga store. Well, I guess 2 weeks ago now. And so, I mean, it was good because it was like full transparency that my relationship with Joanne and my daughter works at the store and whatever. So it's like, I just felt like it was a good idea just to be open and honest about all that stuff. So nobody's thinking about anything or wondering what's going on or whatever. I'm sure you've had things like that where people come into the business and it's like, you're wondering who is this person? Where do they come from? So I just put it all out there. Everyone was good. I thought there might be some apprehension because I recorded the session to post it on our private Facebook group. Partially because I want to be able to review it and kind of evaluate what I did and how it went, but also it's good for the person that missed. They can go back and watch it. And it's funny because I was kind of in my head a little bit before the meeting going, oh, do I need to explain it or give people the option of not recording it or whatever? And similar to when we come on, it just says the thing's being recorded. And they came on, I said, and I just started talking. I said, oh, here's how it works. As you heard when you came in, it's being recorded. It's so I can post it on the Facebook group, blah, blah, blah. And nobody batted an eye. So
that's excellent.
And I thought maybe that would, even though my experience with Jamie's program, where people are revealing some very personal things, nobody seems to be bothered by the fact that it's recorded. But you're always thinking is that going to play into people's willingness to contribute and talk and stuff? And the sense I got was everyone was very open and honest. I mean, there's nothing really contentious to talk about, but
the conversation. So in overall, this is session number 1, and it, in your opinion, it went on a scale from 0 to 10.
I'd say if I discount the fact that the one person couldn't get in, I'd say it was a 9 out of 10.
Well, that's technical. That's technical. Yeah. That's surprising, but it's still technical stuff. Yeah.
So it was. I had the idea. I think it was the night before, the morning of, when I was in the shower or something. And I thought, these guys have just been through like hell and back with COVID, in terms of stores open, stores closed, open for curbside only, whatever. So I thought, let's spend some time. I'm interested to hear about their experiences and what they went through. And because they said, especially in retail, you're always just on to the next thing and you're always moving forward. And we often forget to sit and look back and think about kind of the same thing we did on episode 50, right? Like look back and think about where you've been and gone through. So each of them took a turn talking about their experiences during COVID and with the stores, with customers. One of the stores is the hub for their online business, which grew dramatically and they had to figure that out. One of the stores, the one in Lime Ridge Mall, I'm not sure exactly where that is, if it's St. Catharines or something, or Hamilton, but their stores at like the opposite end of the mall from where the curbside pickup was set up for the mall.
Yeah.
So like customers would come to pick up an order and they'd have to basically go all the way across the whole mall, up 3 escalators. And of course the mall is closed, so that the escalators aren't running. So you have to just walk up them like stairs. And then you get there and then the customer would be like, oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And you're like, it's just so, it's like the epitome of inefficiency, the the whole curbside pickup. And then the other lady was saying they were selling cards for like, so people would be like, oh, I want a card for my mom. And they'd be coming to the window with like 4 or 5 cards and holding them up to the window and having the person like pick. And then the person would be like, no, do you have anything else?
That's insanity.
Yeah. So she said partway through, they ended up putting a whole bunch of displays up against the windows, because this was a location that's in a plaza that has storefront windows. So they would move stuff to the window so people could basically window shop.
How did they, so participation was good?
Very good. Everyone equally participated. I did one exercise that I kind of lifted from Jamie's weekend program, which is at the very beginning, and it's about, and it was actually built into my online course as an exercise, but it's, what are the outcomes you want from this course? And you can think about it in the context of, what outcomes do you think your boss wants? What outcomes do you think your team would want? And what outcomes do you want? And how will you know when you have them? What will you see? What will you hear? What will you feel? What will you know that will let you know that you had those outcomes? Mm-hmm. And I said, everyone's going to get a turn, and I'm going to time it. It's going to be 3 minutes, and you can talk for the full 3 minutes, or you can talk for 1 minute, and then we're just going to sit here for 2 minutes in silence and reflect on what you've said. And I said, I know it's going to feel awkward, and that's good, because I said one quote I took away from the program I was on was, people think silence is empty, but silence is full of answers. So I said, if we just have silence, then that's fine. And anyway, everyone talked, and there was a lot of moments where people would stop and they're like, yeah, I guess that's it. And then we were just sitting there, and they go, oh yeah. And then they'd think of something else. Right. So I don't know, like I couldn't have, had it go any better than it went in terms of that exercise.
See, there's, despite the fact that your stone cold exterior does not communicate much emotion, yes, there's an undertone in the voice that you're speaking right now, which is almost exhilaration. Yeah. So congrats.
For sure. I was tired yesterday at like 3:30 or whatever. I'm like, I gotta go lie down, and I had like a 45-minute nap. So it was
working with people exhausts you, because it's a heavy energy exchange.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Jamie talks about that in his prior practice when he was doing NLP training. Yeah. He had that experience more often, where it was like, and I used to have this experience doing the training at Pressima, right? Like you would spend, even if it was a few hours with a group, you were drained at the end of it because you were giving, right? Yeah. And he said that since he switched to training this 3 principles method of coaching, he actually finds it's recharging versus draining. Mm-hmm. So he comes off of like this full 2-day weekend thing where I would have been like wiped, and he's like supercharged. Yeah. Because he's actually feeding off the energy of the whole program.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's
but that's very interesting, because I know I find that in my experience, like you said, training for you was draining. Yeah. For me, training presentations were always like exciting stuff. Yeah. But whenever I found myself, and it didn't happen often, maybe 3 times in my life, when I was behind the desk at a trade show, yeah, I would pay money for somebody else to do it on my behalf. Yeah. No, yeah. Trade shows are they're tough. Yeah, they're a nightmare. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. So I've been, we might have to come back to this coaching thing between you and I, because I found myself yesterday thinking that I am now pulled in so many different things. So yes, I'll show you something in a second. Sure. Unless you have anything else to share with me.
I have a whole list, but you go ahead.
Go. No, because I'm going to take over, and I'll need to bounce at 10:30.
All right. I need to get an Amazon link from you. Yep. For the basic AirPods, because I'm buying my wife AirPods for her birthday. Sure. And so that's the first thing. You sell them? Yeah. Yeah. I think they're $159.99, something like that. Cool.
Can you send me the link to the ones that you need?
Yeah, sure. I emailed 16 of my peer coaches the other day, not yesterday, the day Tuesday, with my ideas about I want to do a coach to coach podcast / YouTube program where I'd interview them similar to what Jamie does for his interviews with people. You know, what got you started in coaching, who's your audience, how are you helping people, and where can people reach you? So that's kind of the interview. And then I also said I want to have a page on my coaching website that's called Coaching Connections or something like that, where I would highlight each of your respective practices, who you are, who your target work group is, and a link to how to get in touch with you. And I've had 4 people so far out of 16 book meetings with me over this week and next week.
Cool.
To do that.
25% is good.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Excellent.
And then we got to talk about now, based on that, getting that web page and everything we talked about the other day about I forget the name of the company you said to get the hosting and stuff from.
Yes.
And then how to use Thrive themes and so on. So at some point we'll have to tackle that.
Yep. Well, I got a crazy ass refresher in that, and I've okay. Yeah. So let's book a time for that, and we'll just do it live.
Okay.
Because it's easier to do live. Yeah, I feel I'm being pulled in so many directions. So I'm working with my neighbor who's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I've set up a website for him, and I've gotten such a big appreciation for Thrive Suite.
Yeah.
But Thrive Suite is for coaches, for content creators, for course creators, but it's not for real estate. So it doesn't manage listings. So at least even if you wanted to have just a few listings, it doesn't do that.
Right.
And so I've encountered now on 2 occasions, one for my business buy and sell stuff. I'm just going to share my screen. And now for the real estate thing, 2 different other templates that you can buy for WordPress.
Yeah.
And they're such a disaster. Not that it's not even, I understand that there's always a learning curve with anything new.
Yeah.
But it's just the level of professionalism, simplicity, and user experience. It's just, you don't know a good thing until you encounter the bad. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So yesterday, let me just show you. So this is yesterday I have written my first AI article, and I'll share that with you.
Nice.
So I'm getting hits on this page, like about 10 views, like six people.
You mean Jarvis wrote your first AI article?
You got it. Look at this. Businesses for sale in British Columbia. What are the options? This is a 2,000 word article.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. And that's how much of that is Jarvis generated? The whole thing?
100%.
Wow.
Except maybe a couple of titles.
Yeah.
And I'll show you something that I want. And now we got this GTA Property Hub. So this is why I had such an excellent refresher on setting up a website. I had to use a different template.
Yeah.
So this is me. Still haven't. This is Mesh, and it's like, Mesh, I've never seen you in a suit. I've never seen you in a tie. I never seen you even with that
Hairdo,
this is so not him.
Yeah.
But so
I had a guy that had worked with me.
Yeah.
And when he took his real estate photo, he must have just come back from like an awesome vacation in the Caribbean or something.
Yep.
Because he's a white guy, but he had such a dark tan. And the contrast in his photo, like you thought he was a person of color. And then I met him in person. I'm like, and I'm looking at his ad, and I'm looking at him going like, how is this even you? Like he was about 15 shades lighter in real life. It was crazy.
So yeah, and everything needs to be
You got a typo in service there, online service.
Sorry?
Where it says online survey.
Online.
Below the phone number.
Oh, well, this is all junk. This is not real.
Oh, okay.
This is neat. Yeah, and this is also incorrect. But it's fascinating to see how things can transpire. So this one I've set up as well in a matter of 2 days, and it most of the time, a day and a half was spent just on figuring out this damn template.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go back to Thrive Suite as soon as I can, because this is we'll see where this goes. This is an experiment for the time being, because I have my content, but this is what Surfer SEO looks like. You go to Content Planner.
Yeah.
So I've ran a couple of different things, and so this is for real estate. You go here, and then it tells you search volume, what is the title, what are the relevant search keywords within that search.
Yeah.
You can have more filters. You can go by intent. So local information, customer investigation. This is when you kind of looking to make a transaction, or informational. This doesn't really apply to shopping, because this is where your products like sneakers and whatnot would come in. So all of this happens, and then you click on this, you select all of this, and it creates you a content planner. And then you go to content editor, and it gives you a white sheet of paper, which you're supposed to fill in. But you're not filling it stupidly. You got to get the score past 65 at least. 70 is better. And it tells you how many words you need to have on average, how many headings, how many paragraphs, how many images, what are your keywords that you need to type in, and how many times it needs to appear, what you would want to have in your headings, and then some other stuff. And then you can go off and get a setting. Okay, so who are you bouncing this off? Well, you're not really bouncing it off. So these are the number one positions when you search for that keyword, how to real estate invest.
Yeah.
You're not really bouncing yourself on Investopedia. So you don't need to Nerd Wallet. 6 ways to invest in real estate. 5 simple coach real estate investing 101 is real estate and good investment in Canada. Let's include that. So this is who you're comparing yourself against and how they rank up against this. Greedy rates. How to invest. So this is the first 20. Always the first 20, because you want to outrank them. So you select the websites that you're interested in, and then you click Let's Go, and you begin to create this. Then what you do is you go to one of those websites, and you see the structure. So what do they write about? And you bring that into Jarvis. But I'm not going to do that right now, because first of all, why is it not loading? We'll figure this out later. That's not the point. I want to show you something. Let's read this. So title is Personal Coaching for Growth and Success. Content description, blog post about the values of personal coaching on work, career, and family life. Keywords, personal coach, executive coaching. I haven't tested those keywords. I just typed them in. And this is all that's written. Many people are under the impression that personal coaching is only for those who have lack of self-confidence, blah, blah, blah. See this? This is all AI. Wow. Now let me show you how this actually transpires, because I find it, hold on. I find it quite fascinating, because it really is. One, let's just take this. Let's just take the top portion, so it's not as big. And then we're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to so business plagiarism checker. We're going to paste it in here. So it's 156 words, and we're going to check plagiarism. Meanwhile, back here, I'm going to delete all of this. And I have this button. You see this at the top? This is voice invoice typing. So I'm just going to speak, and it's going to type. Check this out. Write an opening paragraph. I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't, and then I'm going to hit Control Enter.
Wow.
Now I'm going to hit Control J and I'm going to tell it continue writing. Again, write a list for the blog about personal coaching. See this? It's repeating itself.
Yeah.
Because it's reading from what it's written before. So let's prevent that. Oops. Write a bullet point list for blog about personal coaching. So forth and so forth. But if you go in and you have the content of what you want to write, then you can go in, take that header and have it create a paragraph.
Yeah.
Check this out. Write a paragraph about the above.
Wow.
You're either frozen or you're just like me in amazement.
Yeah, I'm just like.
So let's go back to plagiarism checker. Check this out.
100% unique.
That was the one that was created. Yeah. So this is not copying off other people's websites. It's a synthesis.
Yeah.
So what do you do next?
I guess one question I have would be, like you just did this. If you did those exact same steps again,
yeah,
would it create the exact same thing, or
it might and it might not?
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets stripped up. Now, also, it's impacted by what's here. You right. Change this and this changes. So you're writing under a title about like the ways of approaching personal coaching.
Yeah.
You want to include a different keyword and maybe a slightly different addition to this description because it's using that as its guide.
Yeah.
But this is writing blindly. I just said write a paragraph and it did it. And you have output shorter, medium, or longer output. Remember the one that I showed you, Surfer SEO? Well, it's integrated here. So if I take what I had before, and so how to real estate invest. Now I'm going to delete all of this. Oh, I need to change this. How to be smart about, I don't know why I'm typing. Blog about the basics of real estate investing in Canada, why not, and how to process. Now recall, I already have some of the keywords.
Yeah.
How to real estate invest, real estate investing. So let me just go here. And I'm going to give it a third one, which is going to be slightly different. Investment. Oh, you know what? Investment property, and there was a good one here, rental income. Now, let's go here. You see, right now, I am ranking at pretty much 1. That's it. Write an opening paragraph for a blog about real estate investing.
Where it's added the email in there, is that because it's taking that from something that's found online?
Where this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is you're supposed to replace. You want to replace that.
Yeah.
So then I can go. This is a header 1. Header 2. And you see how this is going up.
Yeah.
Because your headings, your number of words. Now I need to be over this. This is at least number of paragraphs, and it's highlighting. Hold on. How to real estate invest. You see that one, the first one?
Yeah.
Well, this is where it gets tricky, because this is obviously a keyword that people mistype. This is not how you would speak. You would say how to invest in real estate.
Yeah.
Let's do a long output. If I press compose, what happens? You see what's happening, man?
Yeah.
I'm just pressing the button.
Yeah. How's it so fast?
I have no clue. I have no clue. And then you start.
You can't even load like pre-written content this fast.
No. I'm up to 779 words in a matter of how many clicks did I do?
Yeah.
And then you go into, like, for example, location. You start creating paragraphs. You see how, like, it increased the number of headings.
Yeah.
So that's structure that's going to be beneficial to ranking this article high. And then you can break up big paragraphs like this. And paragraphs keeps coming up. And then you need to look at the words that you're using and try to weave them into the article.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be the most elegant piece of content to read if you're trying to gain go for the SEO.
Yeah.
But, like, for example, 3 dots means don't read anything above.
Yeah.
We're going to go online brokers, and that's going to hit one of the keywords.
So for the site you're building for your friend there, is the intent to create content for him as well?
Well, the intent is to try to build this content so that it drives organic traffic.
Yeah.
If it does, great, then this can continue.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, well, then
is there any that based on your research there with, like, the surfer SEO thing, like how many of these types of articles do you need to have?
No, I still haven't watched enough, but I'm trying. So I've written an article on real estate 1. It took, I'll be honest, it looks fast, but in the end it takes 2-3 hours to finish an article.
Yeah.
To polish it off, and then you see, like, you need images. I was just downloading as many images as I could. It's irrelevant, but you just put this in.
Yeah. But it's 2 or 3 hours on a topic that you don't really know anything about, right?
Yes, on a completely blank topic. So I'm going to ask Natalie to try to do it for her, and I'm going to do it for real estate, and I'm going to do it for like online courses.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to see how long does it take to rank? Does it rank? Like, where does it appear? Because technically it should work, but it's not just one article. You need to continuously create that content, because that's also part of whether or not Google looks at your website for that content.
Right.
So this is but you saw my point about coaching, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to create a coaching hub, but you want to be known as a coach. This is it.
Yeah.
Pretty
Amazing.
mind-blowing.
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, so this is I'm gonna X out of here for the time being.
And is that all paid now? Like or free subscriptions, or?
No, that's all paid stuff. That's what you saw there is boss mode, is when you can dictate commands, when you don't even have to provide. I don't even have to create intro article. I can ask it for suggestions. There's like a workflow of starting a blog.
Yeah.
So you put in a title and then an opening line, or you can click give me suggestions. It'll give you suggestions. This is
it's pretty mind-blowing, man.
So there's a part of me that
you got to sell you create like a portal layer on top of this and sell it to high school students for writing papers.
That's exactly what my mom said yesterday when I was showing it to her. Yeah, I don't see. You saw the actually that's
and the teachers can run it through as many plagiarism checkers as they want.
It's always going to be unique.
Wow.
So this episode is called Jarvis.ai plus Surfer SEO. So this would be an interesting exercise to try to see if this is all if this actually has any beneficial impact.
Yeah. So what's your timeline then? Like, you're going to create stuff this week and then give it
I'm going to continue. I'm going to try to create an article. And this is this is where I started from. I'm going into too many directions.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I need to pick one. So business buy sell. When I looked at the keywords that people are ranking for, they're not blogs. They're just listings.
Yeah.
They're just freaking plain old listings. So I'm thinking that because the business buy sell idea doesn't cost me anything, I can still continue to rip off listings from the two other websites. I'm just going to filter for new ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to post. And because I'm getting some traffic right now.
Yeah.
If the traffic continues and somebody posts a listing with me, great, that's free money.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything on that. And I'm going to reach out to some of the, I know a couple of brokers in Toronto area specifically.
Yeah.
Who post listings and invite them to list with my site. But I need traffic for that before I reach out to anyone, because I want to be able to show GA like Google Analytics that there is somebody. So that's going to take a while. So that's a slow slog, but it's costing me nothing.
Yeah.
It's free. It's literally is free. Hold on. Let's see, any picker. Okay, so it might cost me $100 a year. $100 a year, $8.29 a month. That's fine. Or I can pay $10 a month.
That's practically nothing.
It's practically nothing. No, that's for the scraping tool.
Yeah.
So so I can have that, and then I see a lot of potential because Natalie's.
Can you scrape anything, or are our websites blocked against scraping. Like I'm thinking like for
No,
real.
some
MLS.
you have to be careful about terms and conditions.
Okay.
Some would not allow that.
Like they would not allow it legally, but technically you could do it.
Yeah, well, technically you can do a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay.
Technically you can rob a bank, right?
Yeah.
So that's
In San Francisco, you can shoplift up to $1,000 with no consequences.
What?
In Portland, you can burn buildings down with no consequences.
See, yeah,
It's an interesting world.
that. I've heard about that.
Well, that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yep.
So when you talk about pulled in too many directions, like, are you trying to decide what path to take?
I need a priority, and I don't know how to land on which one is the priority.
Which one has the most income potential? Or let's put it this way, maybe it's not about income. Which one makes your wife the happiest?
Well, this is why I'm thinking I want to do a couple of things for her, because her field is, there's so much content that people search for.
Yeah.
And you can put products on your website that you can sell immediately if people want to buy them.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing that stops you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll need to think about that, because I don't know which one would lead to profit.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to keep my the business one up. Because there's absolutely no reason not to.
Yeah. What's the potential on the real estate thing? Like, what's your,
well, potential on the real estate thing is there's it's huge, because but I need to come up because Mesh is also in the position where he wants to scale his business, but he doesn't necessarily know how. Yeah. So my intention is to come to a sort of an agreement and a strategic plan. So this website, really, you don't need a website per se, but it's a landing hub, and it's a source for where you can store content, which gives you credibility.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking to buy, if you're looking like a real estate transaction for yourself personally, you would likely go to Realtor or House Sigma.
Yeah.
And you're not going to outbid those sites unless you create and put substantial dough behind your version of it. But why would you?
Yeah.
It doesn't carry any benefit. At the same time, social media can be a source of tremendous number of leads. So if you post articles on your site, not about properties for sale, but anything around properties, which are good, well-ranked articles, then you can create a stream of people who land on those properties and read those articles and then remarket to them. Yeah. But then you create articles which are specifically in the early stages of looking for a house, like, for example, how to get a mortgage pre-approval.
Yeah.
What do you need to know as a first-time home buyer, or selling in this market? So anything that it's not, you don't write articles about moving, essentially.
Yeah.
Although you might want to, but not at the first, because moving is already the transaction complete.
Yeah.
So you go after those articles and you rank high. that is one thing. Then there's a process where he doesn't post any listings, but even if you don't have listings, there are other people that have listings. You have social channels. Why wouldn't you repost all of that and put some marketing budget behind it just to see if any of that works? Or Jarvis thing, that they have templates for Facebook ad copy, Instagram ad copy, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
So then research, like I did previously, research a few Instagram hashtags, because it's very local. Pay for Google ads, Bing ads, which Google local ads.
Yeah.
Why not? Just to see which one generates leads and then go through the funnel to see which leads convert.
Yeah.
Remember the guy with the $40 million house videos?
Yeah.
Like that stuff also needs to try, but there has to be diligence in terms of doing that. And I know that real estate agents, and Mesh including, sometimes you get trapped in the day-to-day stuff because you have a good deal on the table. It looks like it's going to complete. So you focus all of your efforts on that.
Yeah.
And that's why you need a team. And the question then is am I able to dedicate enough of my time to this project without necessarily being paid to get this done?
Yeah.
Because then at the end of it, what we've discussed is sharing the profits above the baseline of what he does in an average year.
Yeah.
So if he average year, he nets 150,000 after all expenses, then if 2022 brings in 500,000, that's 350,000 with a split of, let's say, 75-25, something like that. But that, as you can imagine, is a fairly intense and long process.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the other thing that pops to my mind is if you figure this out for him, can you build it in a way where it's somehow scalable for you so that you can?
Well, make no mistake, real estate market is full, like overflowing with agencies, services. Like I've just been exposed to so many CRM systems for real estate agents.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen one that's.
Yeah. The saturation in real estate, mortgage brokers, insurance, all of those industries is probably off the charts.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't necessarily need to have all of that. You don't need all people. You just need to own a few thousand contacts which are regularly transacting or investing, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I do believe that Natalie's business has a lot of progress, and I'm curious to see if I can write content on blogs and outrank Mary Folio. I'm ambitious, motherfucker. I'm an ambitious.
Is she like the queen of nutrition or something?
Who? No, Marie Forleo. Course creation.
Oh. The name doesn't ring a bell for some reason.
Okay. Who else do you know?
Amy Porterfield.
Amy Porterfield. Yeah, she's also in that game. Yeah, Amy Porterfield. Yeah, a good example too. Those are the people who have teams of. Like people like me, just working for them.
Yeah. Well, it's like that Graham Norton guy on Kajabi, who I think for some reason in my head I have it in my head that the guy's making almost $1 million a year just on affiliate fees.
I can imagine, yeah,
of getting people signed up on Kajabi.
Yeah. Well, this is. And this is I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the fact that affiliate commissions, like I told you. Oh, let me actually, that impact. So CJ affiliates, like the big platforms that accumulate all of the different companies.
Yeah.
You can create. You saw how easy it is to create a post.
Yeah.
All you need is a link to a specific promotion, or a comparison website or something else, maybe that works. Because now that content creation is not well, at least for me, it's more of a mechanical process rather than the creative process, which I never could match somebody who's a creative writer. But in a game of ranking high so people click, it might work.
Yeah.
So people search for a lot of skincare products. So you can write I don't know, take a skin condition and write an article about this. You know the structure of it because there's so many. You take a structure from a book like Amazon. Remember I told you how you can look at the recreate all of those articles and let Jarvis do the work.
Yeah.
See if that ranks. Include affiliate links, include product links, Amazon links, whatever you want. You don't need people registering. You don't need to do any of the heavy lifting. It's just content.
Yeah.
You can repackage that content and put it up. You know how? Remember those voices for YouTube?
Yeah.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, all the things that can be done. The question is how much time it takes to, again, see too many ideas on the page. I have coaching website with Greg, intact affiliate content website, real estate process, buy, sell business content, vibrant lifestyle, not least the stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all of it one step at a time, one project at a time, flipping between each just to make sure just novelty is there.
Yeah.
So
how selfishly, how much time do you think it would take to do get my coaching thing? Because I just a half an hour call between us and then I'm off.
What, the website?
Yeah.
Probably an hour.
Okay.
Probably an hour in over 2 days.
Okay.
The thing is if you're setting up a website and you're registering it for the first time, it'll take overnight to load it up because you're not on a server yet. I mean, we can connect later today if you want to.
Do you build it and then do that? Like you have to build it first and then activate it? First
is you get hosting.
Yeah.
Oh, you already paid for your domain, right?
Yeah, I've got the domain.
Okay,
but I don't have hosting.
So yeah, so you'll get hosting and you're going to be set up on the server, and it might be instantaneous or it might be overnight.
Okay.
It depends. For me, it was instantaneous for Mesh. For him, for whatever reason, it was overnight.
Okay.
Then there are 2 steps. One, pointing your domain to the service.
Yeah.
It's less than a minute worth of work.
Yeah.
And then setting up a few necessary plugins on if this is WordPress, on the WordPress site.
Okay.
That's it.
Cool. So you do have time this afternoon?
Yeah, we can do that this afternoon. Let me I'll actually have a conversation. Remember Wallace?
Yeah.
Wallace hooked me up with a conversation with Ceridian at that company that he works at.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be one of those polite conversations just because he works there, but nothing's going to come of it because the job that they're going to talk to me about is not even listed anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm not holding my head up, but I'm still going to go through with this because I can't let him down because he stuck his neck out for me.
I was thinking this morning on the premise of that same question I asked in my coaching course yesterday, along the lines for my interview simulator thing of writing an article on something to do with here's the question that you can ask in an interview that will blow the other candidates away in the minds of the interviewer.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Which is the same question, sort of question is you ask, how will you know when you found the right candidate for this position?
Yeah.
What will
that's a good one. Let me hold on. I'm shamelessly stealing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. What will you see? What will you hear? What will you feel? What will you know that will let you know that this is that you found the right candidate? And you know what they're gonna the way that question works is that, generally speaking, people don't have a pre-made answer for that question. If you think about every question that people get asked in an interview, either by the interviewers or the interviewee asking the interviewer, everyone, they've already heard all those questions. They already have pre-canned answers.
Yeah.
When you ask a question like that, there isn't a pre-canned answer for it.
I'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah. So when you ask that, they're going to stop. You'll be the only person that has asked them a question that has made them sit there and go, it's a good question.
We can jump. I mean, if you have time, we can jump at either 1:30.
Yeah, let's say 1:30.
Okay.
And then of course, depending on how they answer that question, then that gives you your next things to talk about. Is like, well, I'll know because this person will demonstrate these skills or have this experience. You go, oh, that's interesting. That's exactly what I have, or whatever. Anyway, I posted an article yesterday on LinkedIn called,
I saw that.
Why did I hate Slack so much?
Yeah. I like that. I like the angle that you took. I like the fact that you hung out Slack. Did you reference them at Slack?
I didn't, but I copied my coaching friend that I had the conversation with, and he said, I hope you tagged them on it. And I didn't, but I'm going to go back in today and add them.
Yeah, tag them.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's a clickbait article, a clickbait title, but
yeah,
it was a good article.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and I wrote it, not Jarvis.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, what's the topic of that article? You go to Search for SEO, find out what this, like, personal coaching, what subjects. This is if it's paid for, and if there's no reason not to do it. It's just time.
Yeah.
And it creates very valuable, unique, not unique in the concept idea, but unique from it's not plagiarized content that will lend itself well to people clicking on it eventually. And one article will rank higher than the other. I mean, it's not like you're the only one who's trying to outrank others.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, neither you nor I have backlinks, and backlinks is a big thing.
Yeah.
If Forbes links to your article, success.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that the filling the experience gap I did with that Shreya, who was the airworthiness engineer.
Yep.
The reason hers got so many views is because, like, there's some women in aviation group or there's a couple of things like that linked to or shared her article or the link, and then that just I won't say it went viral because it was like hundreds of people, not more than that, but it was way more people than any of my other things I've ever had views on. Same with my wife's on drowning prevention, like Life Saving Society. Like, there was different things that
niches,
that hooked onto that.
Niches that people really care about. And that may be the best way to write an article, is when you write it thinking of a specific audience versus just generic.
Yeah. My next article, I've already written some of it, is why SMART goals are stupid.
Perfect. You can use me as an example of a person who teaches SMART goals.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta bounce.
All right, man. So 1:30.
1:30 on my link. Okay.
Okay. We'll see you then.
Okay, bye.
See you.